Hello and welcome to Let's Ride Around Europe. It's a lovely day. This day, what is it? This is it. You are joining me just leaving Stuttgart on the way to my friend's place on the Swiss border. Today is Black Forest Day. Right now, we are headed towards Pforzheim. Just because I know some roads south of Pforzheim, and I think they're going to make some good video. And there's some enjoyable riding. Oh, you know, I could have just head on straight out of Stuttgart if I wanted to. There does seem to be a lot of sort of built up areas just south of Stuttgart, so I wasn't sure if that would work out. But yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day again. It's hot again. I've not done a charge in Stuttgart because I think I can get to the first charge of the day alright on what I've already got.
In 800 meters, turn right.
I had a lovely time in Stuttgart. It's quite a nice city. The main train station there is under renovation, which is a shame because it looks like it was really cool, and it looks like it is going to be really cool as well. But there was a whole lot of other stuff. You know, it's a super walkable city. Like really walkable. There's a load of roads that are just like they're there for pedestrians only, and a lot of the roads that aren't are kind of pedestrian first sort of roads. And then you've got like trunk routes that come through. I think we're going right here. Google. You said turn right, and there was a junction right there. What did you expect me to do? We'll just turn around and go back. I'm not going to go through a rat run. Yeah. You said turn right. Do not tell me to turn right if you don't mean it. This is the thing I hate about Google. If you don't have like the visual display, like interpreting its intentions is such a pain. Is that where you wanted me to turn right? I don't know. Oh, for fuck's sakes, Google. Stop. Right. Shut up and stop making weird doody-doot noises and just, like, where the fuck do you want me to go? So we're basically wasting time and also range doing this because, you know, Google really needs to adjust its algorithm, but, you know. I honestly don't really want to be in a town right now. I want to be out on some open road with some air. Because it is very hot. But yeah, Stuttgart was really nice. Really walkable. Lots of stalls, or like eateries with like outside seating areas and stuff. There were also a bunch of stalls. Lots of squares connected by little streets wind around a bit. Just a really, really like pleasing town to wander around. And quite compact as well. Much more so than Frankfurt. Plus it had quite a lot of parkland, which is always nice. I didn't get to see much of the parkland, but you can see it on the map. It had some cool buildings, which I was a nerd about. It had a really good sort of main square area. That's something Frankfurt kind of didn't have. But Stuttgart definitely did. It was like half plaza, half park. That was a really early pull-in. Holy shit. Like that guy pulled right in front of the Mercedes. He didn't need to do that. Yeah, the main square was pretty cool. It was very large, open, a lot of grass, sort of businesses around three sides, and then a big old palace at the other end, like at one end. The buildings look pretty cool. I had a really nice dinner in a Brauhaus on that square, but it was too hot to sit outside. Like, even at like 8:30 when I had dinner, it was too hot to sit outside. And then after that I lay on the grass in the square, which seemed to be a really popular thing to do. Like, as the heat had gone out of the day, a lot of people would come out and they just sat around in groups in the grass, sort of, I guess, drinking and chatting and stuff. There were a couple of Bluetooth speakers somewhere. There was a guy playing some live music, that kind of thing. And I just lay on the grass and listened to the stuff that was going on. And the previous night, when I arrived in Stuttgart, I went out to Böblingen and met up with a friend. And it was quite nice. I wasn't able to like arrange a stay with him on this trip, but it was good to like meet up and have dinner. So that's kind of what happened in Stuttgart. These people are really cramping my style. They may not have places to be, but I do. I think she said first exit. It should say Pforzheim. It did say Pforzheim. Cool. chatting for a little bit here so I can concentrate on these roundabouts. Because we all know what happens when I don't concentrate on where I'm going on roundabouts. I'm not a massive fan of roundabouts, to be honest.
600 meters.
First exit. Pforzheim is closer than I thought. So yeah, I was just talking about what I got up to in Stuttgart. Yeah. I had my first hit out to show my friend. I discovered that the upper teeth had come off. Did not appear to be damaged, it just seems like the glue failed. And I'm not sure if it's from mechanical pressure from being in my luggage or if it's from the heat. Because the heat is something fierce. And it is at the edge of town, so, you know, oh yeah. I guess that's a decent segue into my usual bit, you know. You should be kind to people who live in little rural communities. I'm going to do this once a day on this trip.
600 meters.
You should be kind to people who live in rural communities. Don't be blasting through their towns at high speeds. It's their home, you're a guest. They're just on their main street trying to do their day. Which exit, Google? Let's just go the second exit and see what she says. If she complains, we'll know we're wrong. If she complained, oh, we'll turn around. Yeah, it doesn't really matter for that bit there. Okay, yeah. It doesn't really matter for that bit there, but for a lot of speed limit postings in small communities, like, it does matter, because you're going to be riding through their main street and they're going to be out like just walking the dog or doing the shopping or just trying to enjoy their little town square. What business do you have ruining their day flying through, making it unsafe and loud. I come from a little rural community, you know. It's important. You should respect them. Of course, when they do shit like this, I just put a low limit on roads where you're just like, well, what is the thing here that I'm supposed to be being careful of? Because there's forest at either side of this road. And, you know, it's pretty dickish. But if you're around like a little town or whatever, you really need to pay attention to that. A lot of good roads on today's video, so I don't know how much I'm going to be talking. Second exit, but we'll see. I do have some things written down to talk about. This roundabout. Let's see. It's like on the other side. I've seen a bunch of these electric Mercs around, actually. The EQ series. I've seen like the sort of S-classy one. I see a couple of those, which I wasn't expecting very much. Right, wait, what? Wait. Google, you're just making shit up now. Can we get past this truck? No. And there's another truck in front. Oh no! I can take the car with the truck would be a bit much. I guess we're going to be stuck behind these guys. Well, I guess I'll talk about... we've already talked about my first crash. We've already talked about what happened to my little Vardero. So let's talk about the first time I crashed my phaser. I had it maybe 10 days. So that's how good I am. Yeah, I had it maybe 10 days and I was coming up like this street in Dublin. It's quite central Dublin. And there's a car on the other side of the road and he pulled into like the turning bit. And I just panicked and I grabbed all of the front brake. Over I went. I was still kind of sensitive about like cars turning at that stage, and yeah, I came down hard on my wrist. I cracked the end of like one of the bones in my arm. I think it was. Is it one of the bones in the arm? It might have been one of like little wrist bones, but I cracked one of them. It's not a big deal, but it did mean I had to have a cast. Ugh. And I also cracked the stator cover. Now it's not too bad on a Phaser 600 because a Phaser 600 actually is a dry stator. It's on like a crankcase cover, like it's under one, but it's not actually inside the crankcase itself. If that makes sense. Oh, which one did she say? We'll assume it's the third one. Third one? Second one. One, two. It's not a turn. Oh, this is just not a turn. Do you mean that way? Yes, you did. Go, 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 go. Why do you like this? I really don't want to know about slight lefts and slight rights. I said I wasn't going to complain about Google, but they're so wishy-washy, it's really hard to interpret what you mean, because sometimes it just means just stay on the road that you're on, and sometimes it means turn off, and sometimes it's just like, just turn right. Yeah, I cracked my wrist and I broke the stator cover. I didn't break the stator itself, just the stator cover. But the stator actually bolts onto the cover. And I bent it and cracked it. So it had to be replaced. Second exit. I think that was the first major job I'd done on a motorbike. Prior to that, it'd just be like oil changes and stuff. But it worked out okay. I got it done with the help of a friend. A picture somewhere of like bring your bike to work day while I still had the cast on, where I just like brought the broken stator cover into work and put it on my desk. And of course, you know, I got antsy and there was a point where I rode the bike with the cast on because I'm an idiot. But I don't seem to have any lasting issues with my wrist, so that's good. Maybe later in life it might present itself again, as these kind of things can do. Yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. Just meant that I broke my bike that I hadn't had for very long, and I cracked my wrist. I had to have a cast on for a few weeks. I think that was actually the first time I'd ever had a cast. It's itchy as all hell. Remember. But I just kind of panicked, you know. I was really sensitive about vehicles turning because of what happened with the Verdero, and I was just like, oh god, he's turning. But like he just, it's a taxi, right? You know. Googly? Hey, whoa. Oh, fuck. I'm gonna assume it's this way. Yeah, I was really sensitive of vehicles turning, and like it was a taxi. The way that he did it was he didn't just like just slip into the turning lane and stop. No, he like sharply like swung into the turning lane, brake, stop. I was like, oh shit, brake! Handful of front brake. It was a little wet, and that was that. And I guess it kind of goes to show that if you have been off a bike for a while, you do really need to be careful. Because you do lose some of those skills. Is that our left turn? Is that our left turn? Where is it? Worm. Okay. Not into a ton. And that's certainly my experience. I've had 2 longer periods off of motorcycles. There was that one where I was off for 18 months, and then there was, I think, 3 years. I think it was 3 years between the Phaser and the VFR. And that was kind of like, I just wasn't riding the Phaser at all, and like I don't know why I wasn't riding the Phaser, to be honest. Sort of parked it one day, and then it was parked, you know. Yeah, I wasn't riding the Phaser. I guess it would be 4 years, and then I moved to the UK, and like I didn't have anywhere to park anything, so I didn't get another bike and all of this kind of stuff. And when I came back, like, it's really easy to get back on a bike and be like, oh yeah, it's all grand, you know, whoa, a bit wobbly at low speed, it'll be alright, you know, I'll figure that out again. But there's definitely some important stuff that you don't realize that you've forgotten. And that took me a while to get back into with the VFR. I was dangerous in the VFR for a while, I was gonna say, you know? Especially because the VFR, I mean, you know, it doesn't pick up like this thing does, but it could be a spicy boy. It's not a beginner motorcycle. Especially because, like, it's not a simple power delivery, because it's a VTEC bike. It's not a simple power delivery. It's long and awkward, and all the weight is high up. And I love it. Every bit of negative criticism that I give it needs to be tempered with the fact that I love that bike, and it's still in my garage. just haven't written it anywhere in a while. But if you've had a period off bike, you need to be aware that your skills are not what they used to be. And I don't even mean like skills as in, well, can you still get knee down and stuff. No, I mean just like your ability to interpret traffic. It's definitely a skill. Your ability to interpret the road, your ability to calibrate your levels of risk. These are all things that degrade. And, I joked about low-speed maneuvering and stuff. That's really, really important skills. I know, like, your squid brain says, yeah, that's not the important stuff. Oh, wow, it is. It so is. If you do your motorcycle driving test, well, in Ireland at least, they don't take you out in a canyon and say, show us how well you can do these curves. No. The guy, takes you to a housing estate and is like, do a U-turn without putting your foot down. I'm gonna walk along at a regular walking speed. I want you to keep pace with me smoothly. Piece of cake on a bike like this, but petrol bike, you're feathering the clutch and stuff. That's why you generally do it on a small bike, because it's much easier to do those. The VFR would not cope with that very well at all. I could do it, but yeah. Anyway, my destination is on the left. Is that it? Oh, that was it. So, if you have anything to say, you can find the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. If you... Uh-oh, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to go. What is this? If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Check out some of my other videos. There's a bunch of them that are like this. You may enjoy them too. If you do, consider subscribing and hit that bell. And if you would like to reward me for entertaining you today, you can find my Ko-fi link in the description below. Bye bye.